Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back, Perfect Peeps. We're doing some live coding again today, kind of continuing with our AWS Community Builder app. Once again, you can always join me to do live coding, just like Brittany did, with that link down there. So, I cannot promise we won't have issues on this stream. I'm up sitting in a hotel room on my mobile hotspot off my phone on my 2013 MacBook Pro, so things could go awry. I promise you, I have a single monitor on my laptop. I don't have my nice dual setup. So Brittany told me before the show she could still hear me, so I hope that's good.
Everything still sounds good.
Okay. Phew. All right. So just kind of recap where we were at last time. Let me bring up. Let's see if this works. It's gonna get a little weird, folks, because I gotta jump from StreamYard. Yeah, there's the weirdness. Out to kind of the rest of my screens. So the application that we're continuing to build out, once again, is NatterDabbit's mobile app for this. It's a conference app that tracks talks and schedule and things like that. So we have a very rough layout that we've carved out. We haven't gotten very far. Did we even finish this part, this welcome? I don't even remember now. Let's take a look. There we go.
Do you have the live share link?
I do have the live share link. I'll get that over to you. Yeah, so again, if you join on StreamYard, I will provide you the live share link at that point so people don't come in here and get crazy without it. This could become interesting. This is one of those MacBook trials here. Let's see how this goes. Oh no, I haven't signed into this laptop on live share. There we go. This is how you do this, folks. Should be fairly straightforward. Oh. There it is. Okay, I'll toss that out too. Let me unshare my screen here a second. You can look at my scary face, my vacation face as I do. Hey, Brittany is going to help me out coding. Again, anyone else wants to join? Jump on StreamYard. I'll give you the live share link and you can code with me. Too many tabs.
Okay, I clicked to open my Visual Studio Code and it is just, it opened up a current app. There we go. Let's see if this works.
Let's minimize that for a second. I was thinking we actually added more of this welcome page. I guess not. That might be something fun to do. Maybe maybe you want to take that while I'm working on some backend stuff.
You talking to me?
Yeah, yeah. Or myself. I mean, you know me. no one ever knows. You know, it's something I'm noticing that we haven't really talked about that I think we should talk about. So we are in a Next.js application. For those who haven't checked this out before, we're using Tailwind CSS for all of our styles, and then there you are. On top of that, for Next.js, what we can do is add all the nice Next features. And one of those is this head component. So as you can see here in this head component, there's this create next app that we've overwritten with the title. I think what I'd like to do is move some of this out to the underscore app location. And so the way that we can do that, I'm gonna struggle to remember. Do you happen to have our coding cat stuff up, Brittany?
I can pull that up. Now, what are we trying to do? We're trying to break out like a layout?
I think I'd like to move, so there's the head items where you can put your metadata, so title and things like that, so we don't have to keep repeating this stuff. Let's move that out into the underscore app location. And I think it's as simple as taking this. I just can't remember if you return component page props and also the head. So if we go this, I think. We can go.
Our app doesn't have that. Our app has a document.
Let's add document then.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm getting that mixed up. So okay, I always try to do this, and I occasionally forget. So let's go to the docs on Next.js, so everyone knows what we're talking about a little bit more here.
I'm gonna search for document.
So here is our next head, and this is the component that we're talking about right now. And you'll notice that you can utilize this next head in any page that we render. So it'll update, and where this becomes massively beneficial is this type of area where you can start to update your SEO features. So if you want a post and you want your Facebook or Open Graph title or picture to change, or your Twitter card, that's where you want to do that inside of those different pages. However, for our app, something simple that we want to kind of keep across all of it is this title. So we're going to take a look at the underscore document, which is this custom document. We're going to return exactly this right here. Let me put that in here. So all of that kind of remains in there, and then we can switch out this head piece. I was actually thinking you had to still use next head in here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct or no?
Yes. So you already have it imported, and now you can use it.
Okay, cool. So basically, we can try this out by taking this title and this favicon. Is it favicon or favicon? I don't know.
I say favicon.
Cool, me too. And then we'll drop that in there. And if everything goes right, I don't know if I have to re-kick off the server or not. Let me look if it's complaining.
I think if you change something fundamental around the app, you do.
Let's try it out and see. Part of learning together, I would say. So I'll remove this head piece from our main page here. If we go back over here, now it says localhost 3000. It doesn't have a title, which is no bueno. Let's see when it recompiles. Okay, so no good. Let's change this and rerun it. Then refresh. And just take a quick peek, make sure no comments have come in. Cool. Might take a few minutes on my slow laptop. I should have had you do this part. I didn't know if you'd be able to make live coding on a Friday.
Every other week, I should be able to.
Cool. Okay, it's finally in that compile mode. We'll see. Oh, it has create next app. Sweet. So let's switch create next app to what our actual app is called, which is, I don't know what we're going to call it. AWS Community Builders Conference for now. Okay, and so basically that will update up here now. But what I wanted to show folks is when we go into the different pages, so if we were to go into like schedule, this will still change. See how it went back to create next app? That's because we overrode that within, within this head piece right here. So now we can go ahead and take and remove all of these out. We'll probably leave just the head portion of that because we'll update it with different things. So yeah, let's take and remove all these. Oh no, is it gonna complain it's empty? Ay, ay, ay. Let's throw something in there. Do you remember when React was not happy to let you do that? Were you writing React back then?
I don't think so.
It used to be you couldn't have like this little cool empty component. It was such a pain. You had to throw
It
in
might
like
have been like right when I first started out, because I do remember having to have a div wrapped around things, which was chaos.
Interesting. How about we just throw in any? Because that one could get fun. For you purists of the TypeScript, I'm sorry.
Like me.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I think what I'd like to do to try out some more of this this sweet paired programming. We apparently need to fix our link over here. Would you mind taking that task, Brittany, where we can click on AWS Community Builders and it would actually go back to our home?
Click on the link in the
In the
header.
top left header
Yep.
where the
Okay.
icon.
I gotcha.
Sweet. All right. And then I think when you're doing that, would you also mind doing this page and placing that in there? I think the SVGs are there for AWS Community Builders. We just want it larger for like a welcome screen.
Is that in Figma?
It is in Figma. I think it's shared with you, but the SVG is already out there. So
Oh, it's already in the app. Okay.
yeah, because we're using that in the top left.
And that needs to go on the homepage?
Yeah, instead of this hello world on the homepage,
Okay.
let's swap that out for the real page that we're going to create here. And then in the meantime, while you are doing that, I'm going to jump over to some Amplify-ish stuff, kind of where we left off. So I'm going to jump back into our admin portal here, and then I'm going to walk through kind of how Next.js is set up once again. Sorry for the repeat for those who have not seen this. I found a bug the other day, well, a lack of a feature maybe. I had to enter that with the AWS Amplify folks for a feature request, and I will walk you through that today to show you a little bit more about that. So when you're creating these talks, we look at the page layout. So we're in pages and then admin talks, and we're actually in the index for the talks. So let me back up real quick. So /admin would be this index page. Admin/talks is this next level down. And that's where we're at in this nav page. Doesn't look pretty yet. We don't have a clear design for our talk pages. So we will continue to work on that thought, and Brittany will for sure help me. She's the designer in this coding cat group, not me. So I have crazy ideas that you kind of wrangle me back into, right? You're like, no, do this way.
I am trying to find this image.
I think it's in layout. No, components. Components, global icons.
No.
It's in components, global icons, and it's a component. It's AWS Community Builders. Okay. It's a SVG. Yeah, so kind of make sure you're okay. So back to what we were talking about. Last time we were on, we actually implemented authentication So I'm signed in currently, and we also switched from using AppSync directly to starting to use Data Store. So I'm going to bring that up real quick. The interesting part, we haven't included sync. So if you remember last time, I actually added a bunch of talks onto this page. They're not showing up because that was all done locally, and we don't have sync set up. So if I take a look at my index database, this is probably pretty hard to see. Let me make it a little bigger. So this is my data store setup. I think this looks a little interesting to me. User report, user talk. Yep, okay. So here's my user talk. So when we add a talk now, see how it switched over to data maybe stale? If I refresh that, this is actually what we're working with right now. And again, the cool part about data store, when we're utilizing that, everything is on our local first. So when we look at our application, we're using IndexedDB. If you're on your phone, it actually uses a local database there as well. And that processes in it, once we set this up, that will sync up to AppSync and store it permanently in the cloud. And so that's kind of where we're headed with all this. However, the suggestion, if you were to go through the documentation for data store, let's go here real quick. It will talk through the getting started, and it at some point, maybe it's in the sync here. So yeah, best practice is recommended to develop without cloud synchronization enabled. Now the one bug or feature request that I put out there, what I've been running into with Data Store, when you go up and let's say we want to change our talk schema. So we just created a talk in our Data Store. We'll create a couple of them just for an example. So we have 3 of them, they're all identical. And I'm like, oh man, I really want to add something to this talk schema, right? So if I'm on our backend, so Amplify backend, we go into the API, and I get to this schema.graphql. Here's our talk schema. And let's say I wanted to add something like level of talk. So this is like beginner, pro, something like that. For now, we'll just make it a string, something simple. If I put string in here and I click save, this now has adjusted our schema, but not to the kind of this front part of it because the model hasn't updated. So if you were on with us last time, the way we update our model within Amplify, we come in here and then we say Amplify code gen model, or modules, I believe it is. So that is going to update this models file.
Is this running on port 3000?
Yeah, it is.
I cannot get it locally.
I
think my side of what you asked me to do is done, though.
Okay, cool. Let me share this server, I believe. Under TCP port or serial. So I think I do local host 3000, maybe HTTP. Let's see if that'll work.
The host has shared. Yes. Okay.
Okay, so our GraphQL schema compiled successfully. Sweet. Did I actually save before I did that? Let me try that again. Actually, I should have just went to our models and looked. Okay, so here's our model. Let's go take a peek at talks. Here's talk. Here's our new level piece. So when I'm out here working on the front end for this, and if I were to look at this right here, see how it says data may be stale? I haven't touched this. I haven't clicked this button or anything yet. And so when I refresh to check out the new data, oh, it's going to make a liar out of me. It stayed that time. Let me add one and see what happens. I swear I had a whole discussion on the Discord the other day about it. Okay, so now you kind of see it's disappeared, right? It's not bringing those back up. If I click that and refresh, there's only one single one. And that's because it understands the fact that our version has changed. But what's super frustrating about this is it just wiped out. So like, let's say you're like 10 blog posts deep. You're like, all right, I'm going to sync this soon. Oh, I forgot to add that one last field. And you click that, poof, everything's gone. And it's super frustrating. I think there should at least be a warning up there, but I did put in a feature request to just take and move this data to the new version if it's an additional field. So hopefully they fix that in the future, or hopefully I can put in a pull request to help them out with that. So cool. It sounds, oh, I hear a cool noise. That usually means someone else is joining us. Wait for it. Hey, Michael.
Yo!
What's
What up,
happening?
What's up, everybody?
Oh.
Hey, do you want to do some coding with us?
Yeah, I would love to. I just got back from a run, so my mind is ready to get some code written.
Sweet. We were just kind of walking through some of the stuff we're working on. Let me share the VS Code live share link with you. I love when someone pops in. It like re-energizes me.
Does it make a noise? Like
It goes
ding?
beep. I'm like, oh, someone's here. Why can't I find the share link?
Sorry to disrupt the coding session. I saw the notification in Slack, and I was like, oh, I've been meaning to join one. And I see them, and I'm always like, I get it too late. So I'm happy to be here.
Sorry about that. I've been trying to work on like how to.
No, I did. It's all good.
So on StreamYard, I'm going to send you in the private chat the link, because I think it disappears each time. So if you click that, you should be able to join up with the live shows.
Got it.
Sweet. We are sharing out the server too. You should be able to see it on localhost 3000. You'll see my server on your side too.
Cool.
All right, so let me jump back over. Check comments, no comments. So we're with a single monitor to have to do all this stuff. Cool.
I hope I don't mess up your page. I'm trying to set the body background color.
You can't mess anything up. Let's check it out.
The icon is really tiny.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I can barely see it. So, and it didn't change. Oh, there it goes. There's the body background. That's not what I needed.
That thing is tiny. Let's talk about Tailwind real quick here. Let's take a look here.
I think you got to admit me to the.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Did it pop up? There it is. Guest user, accept, read, write.
Background gray 50. Here it is. That's what's doing it.
Ooh, you came in as anonymous. That's so interesting. I still love checking that out. So it looks like our view box is correct, right, Brittany? But this, because the SVG, I don't know if I'm passing that in. It's super small because of that.
So it just needs to have like a bigger width, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know if I just totally forgot to pass that in on the SVG.
Last name is passed in there, so I'm going to try to do like a width full on it and see what happens.
Cool. Oh, look at that. It's looking better already.
There we go.
Let me refresh my side. See if,
it's like mine is still tiny. There it goes. Oh my gosh.
Would you put it as full?
Yeah, maybe half. Maybe it should be half.
So for folks that, it's weird that it's not, like, SVG should scale infinitely. I don't know why it looks so weird.
It should. I think that's probably something. Well, it's local though. I don't know.
It just snapped in finally. Huh.
It just takes it a minute, I think, with everybody adding, and you just got to give it a second to.
Cool. So yeah, quick little background. Oops. Michael, are you experienced on Tailwind or AWS Amplify?
Amplify a lot, and then Tailwind I dabble.
Cool. So I was actually just diving into the backend that we're working on. I don't know if you've worked with Data Store at all yet.
Yeah.
Cool. So what we are currently working on, and if you want to help me out with, I would love it. So I was just talking through how we switched from AppSync over to Data Store, and I kind of have this hard-coded add talk feature that we're building out. If you want to do some hacking around on the backend that we'll use, which is going to be in our admin page. So pages, admin talks, and then index.
Pages, admin talks, index. Cool.
So within there, I currently have like load talks and create talk, and then it's hard coded right within there. Like to see this.
I think the live share might be stalling out.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to, like,
It's
on my
not
side it's
ready
just
for me.
blinking. Yeah.
Mine is just spinning.
Probably not getting the bandwidth through my mobile phone.
Yeah, I think that might be what's going on.
Cool. That sucks. I wish I was at home with my 200 meg up and down.
Oh, you're on hotspot?
We're actually on vacation, but I wanted to keep our live talk Fridays going. So I'm wondering if I need to kill maybe sharing the server to try to free up some bandwidth.
Yeah, or else like RIP your data plan.
I have actually unlimited. It's awesome.
It is nice.
Let's see here. Where is live share? Yeah, let me try to kill the server and see if maybe that frees things up. Could be interesting. Okay, let's try that. So yeah, what I'm thinking next. Oh, that's cool. The background's flushing through. You must have done that at top level, right, Brittany?
I added a height full, and it wasn't updating on my side because of the server, but I just added that to the main.
It completely bombed out. Nice. Okay, that's what's going on. Let me try that again. Oh, you know what? I'm going to kill Figma too. So for those folks who saw this, this is still what we're building out. This is the conference app we're building. So what we're kind of talking through right now is adding the talks currently. So we are kind of building out this schedule right here of talks as we get into it. I'm going to kill Figma though, because it's a huge memory hog, and I don't have much memory on this old laptop. So hoping that helps us out a little bit here. So I think we can keep kind of chugging along as this thing decides to load up again.
Sounds good. I'm just poking around the files to see what we got here.
Sweet. So yeah, the next thing I think we can probably add into this. What was our decision, Brittany, on the Tailwind inputs? What is that called? Forms. Tailwind Forms. Should we use that in this project?
The package? Yeah, that would be really good for this because it probably won't need that many overrides like ours did.
Sweet. Okay, let's take a look at that. So for those folks using Tailwind, there are some cool packages out in GitHub as part of Tailwind Labs. I think it's at Tailwind.
They're called plugins.
If I go to Tailwind Labs, there is a forms. Where is it at? I may not find this one. So I think it's Tailwind CSS forms. They had two of them. Yeah, okay. So this is how you actually install their forms. And basically all this does is oops, I want to keep that other page open real quick. So all of this what this does is it essentially strips a lot of the like browser defaulted stuff on Forms. And when it comes out unstyled, it looks just like this, which actually for this will probably work really well. For us, we went with more of this simple design because it fits our branding a little better for CodingCat. For the unstyled though, I think that'll look great in AWS because theirs is more like boxy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and install that. I'm going to jump back over here, open up the terminal. Hopefully you guys can see that okay online. I'm going to do that install at that level. I'm forgetting projects here. I got to make sure. Do we have a front end? No. Okay. I'm going to install that at the top level. Now, while that's installing, which could take a minute on my hotspot, it looks like it's going pretty decently. Thing that we need to talk about for a second here is this plugins piece. I don't know that we have any plugins yet, but we're going to dive into Tailwind Config. It looks like we did end up doing some theme extensions, but no plugins yet. So the next thing that we'll add under plugins is this Tailwind Forms piece.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that Tailwind had that. I need to check out their lab section.
Yeah, they have a ton of stuff going on. I know Adam's constantly working on it, and oh man, there's a Tailwind Labs YouTube channel that I usually, if I'm running on the treadmill, I just kind of watch because I'm a huge nerd like that.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of good tutorials of their different like labs things that they have going on.
Is it still just Adam and Nathan, or do they have open source help?
Yeah, I think they've opened it up further because the gentleman that works on Tailwind Labs, I apologize, I can't remember his name. He does a lot of work within their labs too.
Gotcha.
So like this, like the last commit was Robin Malfett. That might be him. I think. Nope, it might be him. I'm better with faces than names. But yeah, for sure, check out Tailwind Labs. They have a ton of stuff going on out here.
Can you share with me your I know you just closed it, but like your Figma file?
I think so. Let me try to.
I got a pretty
have permission to share it. Can I do that?
Yeah, I think so. Try it out, Brittany. If you can't, let me know.
Copy link. Paste it in StreamYard.
Yeah, in the private chat for now, and then I could share that out on the AWS Community Builder Slack too, so people have more of a chance. I was going to mention, so this might be a great time for it. Thank you for the segue. And I go back to our CodingCat channel. So CodingCat.
While you're doing that, just quick shout out that I don't have permissions to view it.
So that means I probably don't have permission to share it.
Okay, I'll take a look in a second.
No worries.
So on CodingCat Dev's GitHub repo, this is the AWS Community Builders live coding. I would highly encourage anyone out there that wants to just continue playing around with this project, fork this thing, make new feature branch, and come on and talk about it. Like, I would love to see this thing take off outside of our Friday just updates, and we can keep building this together. And when you come on, we can share like, oh, I updated this entire like schedule section or whatever you want to talk about, because it's very hard like each week just in an hour to get a lot of this done. So I'd love to see some people out there.
For sure. I don't know if you saw in that Slack channel, I went ahead and I bought AWS community.builders domain.
Oh,
nice.
So I am the sole proprietor of that.
That's pretty cool. Let me turn off.
And Brittany, I'm sorry, I don't think I've met you before.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Michael. I work on front end and cloud full stack.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we don't really have a name for that.
I work with Alex on CodingCat, so.
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, I thought CodingCat. So enlighten me then. My, I guess, intuition was like CodingCat is just Alex's branded like self. But yours, is it bigger than that?
So we're building a learning management system. So it's going to be codingcat.dev. It actually is already out there as codingcat.dev, but we're doing a full redesign and building it on Next. So.
Yeah, and just kind of on top of that as well, CodingCat is meant to be a community of developers. So although like I run all the Twitter and it's usually I am CodingCat, people always say, hey, CodingCat. I'm like, well, yeah, okay. It's bigger than that. So like it's almost Dev 2, but for a learning side spin on it. So we're gonna open it up once we get Next kind of fully baked in there, so that people can come on as authors, our instructors on our classes, and essentially for those courses that they teach, if you sell it directly, you get 100% of the profit, and that's our whole goal, is to get developers cash for teaching others. So yeah,
that's super cool.
That's what we're working on. I'm looking at Figma. I see Brittany in here. Did that share link not work?
I did the share and copy link, and that's what I gave him. And I just think I probably only have viewing access and not like editor access.
Are you able to view it though, Michael?
I am not.
I'm very jealous of your setup, Michael. I love the lights in the background. That chair looks super comfy.
I wish I could sit in it. Honestly, like it's my cat's chair, apparently. Like it's
That's awesome.
I'm never in it. It's really just for like, yeah, exactly.
Actually, would you mind shooting me in the private just your email, and I'll add it in here. I think that might be the problem. Like, even though we can share the link, yeah, cool.
So I think I get the overall concept of this, right? It's a conference app, so there's talks, and I was looking at the Figma files, so I'm not sure where reports fall in. Like comments, I can figure that out, but like, what are reports?
Good question. So we actually took this from Natter's.
Conference in a box.
Yep, exactly. So I don't know about reports necessarily. That's a good question. I don't know.
No, that's cool. If that's like just boilerplate from his stuff, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's totally boilerplate.
Okay.
I don't even see reports in Figma.
Yeah, it's probably not. So I brought up the code again, and what Michael's kind of talking about. So we have the talks one. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Try to pull that level back out now that we're not going to use it. I was just showing how data store is kind of broken a little, not broken, but it clears out your local data every time you update the schema, so it's a little bit painful. Comment report. Yeah, so there's probably some more models in here that we're going to need to do on our local surrounding that app. So just kind of as we go through here, we'll need probably speakers, because I don't think there's a users. Yeah, I guess there's a speaker name in bio up here, but there's no real call out for users in the system. And then, yeah, it's scheduling stuff. So I think talk is actually the scheduling.
Cool. Is this backtick? Is that intentional?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. I was like, I mean, I might have like fat fingered it or something, so I didn't know.
Yeah, that's totally. There you go.
You're like, break it, so I was gonna break it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's cool. Okay, cool. So to try to accomplish something in the next 20 minutes, I think what I'd like to go through is adding inputs. Now that we added that form, we added that plugin. So now we have Tailwind's kind of plugin. And what we should get is this box-looking thing out of it. So let me jump back over there and get in the right talks field. Okay. So I believe right now all we have is this button. So let's take this a step further, and we can now say, okay, we have a new talk here. I love using observables. I still haven't quite figured out if that's necessary or not in React. So I think what I'll do is just create a local talk and then set talk. And we'll put a little state in here for the moment.
While you're, if we can maybe, just for the sake of time, back in the schema, if we could take a peek at that talk model.
Sure.
And so that form is going to be to add a new talk. Is that right?
Exactly. Yep.
Cool. So here's like the name and the bio that they'll have, the time that they're proposing to speak.
I assume so, yes.
Okay. I'm not sure how that differs from a timestamp.
I don't either. I was thinking timestamp might have been for when they actually created this, but typically on AppSync you get the updated that and created that by default.
Definitely, because we also have date in there too.
Yeah, and I'm thinking date time for sure works. Maybe he recorded it as a timestamp, and that's what you entered, and then it flips to that. I don't know. It could be a sorting thing too. Maybe it's simpler to sort on date. I don't know.
Yeah, true. And then like location is where they're from.
So location's interesting because I believe on Matters he has on the conference app, he actually has a map on there. So I think like if you have a conference and put San Francisco, that's what that would be. But I think we're going to leave that off. I don't think that's necessary. I did put a map down here, kind of an alternative thought on it. So whenever I go to like SAP conference or Adobe conference and we're in like Vegas, we actually would have like the room location instead. This being a virtual conference, I don't know that location is probably necessary at all.
Cool. Summary makes sense. I'm assuming Twitter and GitHub are their handles. Speaker avatar is their image. And then comments. So that's interesting.
So yeah, they have this whole commenting system, which looks, and the way I mocked that up, so if you go to a schedule and you go to that talk, it shows the speaker, and then below the speaker is this discuss area. And this discuss is where you can comment on the actual talk.
So is it an array of comments?
So yeah, this is good, Brittany. I know you're not used to Amplify. So comment actually becomes an entire table once you define it this way.
Okay.
And this is a relation, if you will. It's a connection in AppSync that puts the comments field from the talk, and it links it with the comment DynamoDB table itself.
This kind of makes sense from like SQL.
Exactly. And so instead of a true relational table like SQL, these are non-relational tables, but AppSync actually puts it together. So GraphQL has that understanding of that field and what it breaks down to.
It links them together. Okay.
Yep.
I understand.
Good question. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I think, again, for sake of time, 15 minutes, let's see if we can add a little form field to put this stuff in. How's that sound?
Cool.
Awesome. So we have somewhat of the save wired up. What are you guys thinking? We put maybe a form right by this button somewhere? So maybe like a form like this, and then I just make this. So the Tailwind way to do grids, you can just do grid, and then we could do like grid flow. Well, no, let's just do grid for now. And we'll
do you want me to do some of that?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So we'll do an input, and because of the way that Tailwind's package for forms work, you do have to specify each type. And then because React is crazy, we have to do on change. Sorry, if you can tell, I'm an Angular developer, so it gets a little weird for me to figure the React stuff out. So we'll do on change. I'll figure that out in a minute. And then value is going to be our, did I finish the state thought before I squirreled off? So it's going to be talk, and then talk, and then dot name, I believe. Yeah. So let's try that for that one. And then I think we're going to need a text area. Does text area take a type? I don't know that it takes a type, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. We'll see how that turns out. Value equals talk dot, whoa, cursor jumped, sorry. Talk dot summary. Let's see here. Do you need anything else in there? Probably not. Okay. So the unchanged values, we can do this a couple different ways. If we don't want to update the database every time we type in these fields, we could actually take those off, I guess, before we get too far, and just do. Well, I don't know if we can do that now I say that, because I think you do have to update the actual value. So let's do this. So let's set these to on talk update. Try that at least. And then put that up here. Oops. And then those will pass in. This will become an event. So let's check that out real quick. We'll do a console.log e and see what the heck this thing does.
I created a label for it, but I didn't wrap it yet because I don't know exactly what you're doing.
I don't either. That's the fun part of live coding, isn't it?
It's kind of interesting both working in the same file too. So
yeah, for sure.
It is. It's cool. I've never had 3 people in the same file before. It's pretty fun.
I'm hoping to get like 12 of us, or at least like StreamYard will do 6, so maybe 6 of us, and like pick a file. So like next time, just go through and say, okay, you got schedule front end, you got speaker front end, and just like start to carve it out. I think it'd be super fun.
Get some Jared tickets in it.
That's right. Yep. We've got GitHub. We can do that. I'm thinking this button needs to for sure go down to the bottom. Thinking about building. Okay, so we've got.
Oh, that's not right.
Oh, are you trying to put that beside?
Oh, I put it in. Yeah, I think it jumped when we're doing it in the same file. It's just jumping all over the place.
Yeah, let me move that.
So yeah, there you go.
I think we'll actually need like a span around these, or like a flex around these two.
Do you want it to be next to it? I actually put it in a div with a grid because it was going to be on top of it. But
oh, I got you. Yeah, I was gonna put it right beside it. That's cool though.
I can change that. It's already in there.
Okay, yeah, go for it. This is getting a little weird. I think it's half because this is so slow. Okay, so for folks at home that are not used to React like myself, what we're gonna take and do is, oh, thank you, Michael, look at that. What we're going to take and do is look at what this console.log actually accomplishes. So I'll do an inspect out here.
That's going to give you a synthetic event, but eat@target.value will give you what you want.
So see how these synthetic base events came out. That's the full event that's kind of coming out, which is cool if you're new to like. I think a lot of people get buried down in Angular and the frameworks that they live inside. So this is more of a pure look at HTML. So this synthetic base event, I believe, is still technically React. Correct me, anyone who's knows. However, when you get down to e.target, and if I do hello. So now we're at the component piece of this. Sorry, Brittany, what was that?
What is that text area for? What is that label?
Text area for. I'm missing what you're asking, sorry.
Is it in Figma? Like the form that we're building, what is that text area?
Oh, this white stuff?
What? No, the text area, like the
input.
It's
for the summary. For the
Summary. Okay.
Yeah. What am I looking at? Why is this not giving me? There's target. Okay. There's target. This should have a value attached. Oh, we're not updating it yet, right? Let's see. No, it's there. Okay. So ultimately, I'm kind of working our way down for folks that aren't used to this. So e.target is the native value, and then when you do value, this is actually going to produce the hello portion of that. So let's clear that a second. Hello world. See how it all kind of came out? Typically, I do that with a like RxJS, and I'll use like a debounce on there so you don't get all of those changes, especially if you're hammering away on your backend during those calls. But I think it's pretty safe for what we're doing because I think we're only going to do a single update at the very end for ad talk. Okay, cool. So I think Michael already stubbed out something sweet up here. I am not familiar with Prev Talk.
Oh, correct me. So I'll walk you through, or the audience through.
Sure.
So set talk is that piece of state which will take a function. So you can throw in any value to update that state. Or you can pass in a function which will take in as an argument the previous state. So because we want to do this because our state is an object, I'm assuming because on line 63, we're saying talk.summary, and also we have talk.name. So our state is an object. So we're saying, hey, give me the previous value of this state, which I'm calling previous talk. I can call that whatever I want.
Cool.
And then I'm saying what I want you to do is spread over all the values that were in that, but we want to go ahead and update the name part.
Yeah, so I think what would be cool to show folks that are not used to like ES6 syntax too, if we do console.log, the
current state.
Yeah, I'm really new to React as well, and so when I always do this, I probably do it poorly. So I would normally do set talk, and then I would do my object, and I would do ... talk for the spread, and then put just the name in there. And so I'm wondering, is that a poor man's way of...
Set talk doesn't have a callback, does it?
Yeah.
Set talk is this use state from React.
Yeah, so similar to how in like class-based components, that I forget what it was called, but like however you update with state back then, you could
mount.
Yeah, in like the way set state would take in a callback function. With hooks, use state also allows you to pass it a callback function as well. So that they try to keep that backwards compatibility.
It's very cool. So I might have to update all our stuff to this because I think I run into a problem with like, has the state actually updated it, and this would take care of it.
Exactly. So exactly. And to answer your point, pass it in that object and overriding the values is fine, except you can run into issues where the state hasn't fully updated yet.
Yeah, and I think I've seen that before. So this is really cool. This is why I love live coding. You always learn something.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about those like Tailwind labs. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Why does this hate us though? What is? I think
it's just TS being.
I think it's if maybe it's E. Let's do this. Let's do, instead of just throwing it together, let's do e.target dot value is in ours that would be basically anything. So I'll just say A, and I think it's complaining because we haven't said if A.
Is it our
if it exists?
Talk? Yeah, like it doesn't know what talk contains, I think. Oh no, you assigned that.
I think we can go like that. Is that okay?
Don't you need to throw that into the if statement? Oh wait. Oh, you're saying if not. Okay.
Usually it's like cool with that. I don't know if it doesn't like prev talk though.
Argument of type.
So we need to like.
This is just a TypeScript error.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's totally that. I'm just wondering if there's a way to say.
Don't you just need to put like that any thing here, whatever?
Well, yeah,
like
but that's a gross thing to do. What you really want to do is like check.
I'm just trying to get not yelling.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I do any.
So I'm not. So if this is an actual full function, right? We would want to in here say if prev talk. So if it's nothing, then we return just prev talk. Oops. Well, that's gonna be backwards too. I don't know. That's messed up. Because I know if I do an any here.
Yeah, I did it in the wrong place.
It'll take care of it. But in reality, you want to say like prev talk is actually our type talk, and it's not undefined, and that's what it's complaining about. It doesn't know if it's undefined or not, and so possibly what we also need to check, and this is my confusion on prev talk, is normally I would do and talk needs to be or sorry, not and, or talk is undefined, just bounce out, and then I would use talk. But in this case, you're saying it's actually passing the current state within your. So I'm wondering if we would have to do if prev talk is undefined, essentially, do nothing. But I don't know how to do that in state. Does that make sense, Michael?
Say, just put an exclamation point, a bang in front of it.
Yeah, but where at?
Like where you just wrote it.
Okay. So if I do if prev talk.
No, put a bang in front of that, right?
Yep. So if it's not prev doc, we're gonna do something else. So we'll return, and that's the thing. We're already in a function, right?
Yeah, this kind of violates hooks.
There?
It's like you shouldn't have conditionals in your hooks.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, wait a minute, this is getting a little weird because it should check for the undefined state.
Yeah, I vote any.
Okay, that's fine for now. That JavaScript.
I'm sorry for being gross.
Yeah, forget this TypeScript stuff, right? So
yes.
Okay, we'll figure all that out, and I promise we'll update folks. Sorry for the confusion on this. Okay, cool. So at this point, what we've done is said, taken anything from the value, we've assigned it to A. A becomes name. So in this case, it's name. The interesting thing is we have onTalk update on multiple items. So I was going to pass the ID on this. So
the ID.
Yeah, so from e.target, if we took ID, we could say const ID equals e.target.id, and then that could become this.
For sure. I've seen a similar pattern. I mean, it's just preference on what you do, but like, could we also use name? Like give the input a name? And then you get like, because then like you can use your ID for styling, but then you can use the name more contextual. So it'd be e.target.name.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's do that. Do we have name specifiers though?
No, we could throw that in there.
Yeah, if we throw that in there, I'll switch that out.
Command D.
Command D.
Yeah. She taught me this the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Brittany, you're awesome.
Cool. Are we ready to save? I think so. I click save. Did we put name on everything? Yeah. Oh no. Let me put it down here too.
Nope.
So this is actually summary. Cool. Now let's take a look. So theoretically, our set state, and we can prove this out and talk about some more hook fun here in a second. So yeah, we have nothing coming out right now. So let's prove this out up here. So we did kind of use state here. We're updating that state here. What would be kind of fun just to show off, is use effect. Let's throw a use effect in there. My computer is going to burn up and turn into a fiery mess. I can hear the fan kicking up. So if I lose you guys, it's been super fun. So every time talk changes on our use effect here, so we have a base one up here, but let's put this down here for a second. So this is saying anytime talk is updated, go ahead and fire this function. And what we'll do here is do console log, and we'll look at that talk. So we're setting talk here, it's updating, and then we're gonna check out what its current state is by console logging. So here is our hello. No.
I don't like the way that looks, but I can't look at it long enough because I can't get the local one on my side.
Here, I'll try to change it real quick.
You don't have to. I mean, we're almost done today. It's fine.
Right. We'll do it next time. So why is that not coming out? Talk. We're updating setting talk. Let's console log in here and make sure something's happening. Okay. So it's not making it past my if statement, probably because I forgot that part. So let's try that again. Cool, now we're getting both. So here's our input coming in. Here's our current talk. Why is talk going to hello worlds? That is not right. That should be name, correct? What is our, yeah, this should be name. So let's just fix that real quick. Whoa, all the tabs open, sweet. Okay, instead of talk, we're gonna switch that to name. Maybe we want all these to be that too.
Oh, I see.
The name and summary. And then I just changed something I shouldn't have. Type is still text, Alex. I'm back. Okay, so now when we do hello worlds, yeah, that's fine because we screwed it up. So now we're getting something we shouldn't be because we didn't initialize it right. Let me refresh. I'm talking in circles instead of saying what we're actually doing. So our current state is empty, which there's lots of errors. We'll fix all this stuff, but if I type in hello now, the name is hello of our current talk. This is our summary.
It's that's updating with every key change.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we talked about. That's that unchange event, and luckily we're not hitting our database or anything like that. So now that our talk's updated, the last thing which we used to have hard-coded was this black cat nonsense. So now when we hit that button for on create talk, instead of hard-coding this, what we're going to do is say new talk is our current talk object.
Oh, someone did ask a question. What is Command E? Oh, I think they were talking about Command D. And so in VS Code, if you select a word or something and you hold Control D or Command D in Mac, it will select the next instance of that.
Yeah, so if I highlight this and hit Command D, see how it pops down as I go?
And it highlights all of them so you can edit in multiple areas.
It's a fancy.
You can also put your cursor in multiple areas using Alt.
So let me back this up one more time before I get too distracted. Okay, so now we're going to pass in a new talk object, but this time instead of hard coding, we're going to do the ... I don't know what it doesn't like about that. Probably because of the whole if undefined is my guess. Let's try this one time.
Is it gonna like it if there isn't? I'm looking at the schema. If there's no speaker bio,
it might not. It might not. Let's see what it does. Hit add talk once.
I have a
That's
little
okay.
visitor here, so I am gonna run.
Okay, thanks, Brittany.
Yep, thanks. I will catch y'all later.
Take it easy. Great talking to you.
You too.
I know we're over our hour, and I always try to stop on time. So I really appreciate you coming on, Michael, as well. It looks like we have some pretty cool progress on our form input, and I'm glad you got to check out kind of how this runs. Hopefully, you can make it next week.
Yeah, for sure. You said this is open source?
Yep. Totally.
Okay.
Yep, it's on GitHub. If you want to throw a fork it and then throw a branch in, it's on CodingCat Dev. So github.com CodingCat Dev, and it's AWS Community Builders Live Coding.
Nice, nice.
I think I put that in the YouTube description for sure. If I haven't, let me know. But yep,
I'll have to check that out. You got something going on for the hackathon?
I do, but I'm gonna run out of time. My wife and I are on vacation, and I have it's under Black Cat. Mm-hmm. It's an Angular version of Amplify. I might just turn it in, but it's got some of a back end, but my intention on that was to sample out some of the stuff we're doing on CodingCat Dev. It was meant to upload a video and then take that video and the words within it and transcribe that, and then dub it over with a different language. So I got to the point where I was triggering functions, and I'm like, vacation's more important. So
there you go, mental health all the way.
Yeah. Well,
sure.
Again, I really, really appreciate you joining. It's so much easier when we do this with more than one person. I'm not talking to a black box. So very cool.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I'll check you all later.
All right. Take care. See ya. See ya, everyone else. Bye.